The Lakers want to chat with 6 potential head coaches. Once again, the Kings retain a journeyman goalie. And breaking news, USC is filthy rich and they love paying for football. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the Faithful Angelinos Morning Report. And so it is May 16th, 2024. Stuck in Illinois for another day. So be it. I'll be heading home to see the wife tomorrow. Looking forward to it. If you like being in the know about LA sports, though, which is one of the things that makes us all a little happier, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. The Giants salvaged a game out of their 3-game set with the Dodgers. Scum Francisco 4, Dodgers 1. Max Muncy's sacrifice fly brought in the only Dodger run. LA still leads the division by 7.5 games. Galaxy 2, Minnesota 2. Dejan Joveljic and Diego Fagundez score, but the Galaxy surrendered 2 potential points on the road. They allowed yet another set-piece goal, and Minnesota got to tie. LAFC 2, St. Louis 0. Dennis Bouanga scores twice. The Black and Gold are on a 3-game winning streak. And Atlanta 92, Sparks 81. Here's the thing that really annoys me. Before the game, the WNBA and various media outlets reported on what Sparks rookie Cameron Brink wore on her way to the WNBA debut. And look, oh, what a fashionista. How glamorous, right? She's a pretty girl. I hear you. But there's no way we can take the Sparks seriously if we're talking more about fashion than whether or not they can play. I'm not even sure we blame the player on this, by the way. But if the Sparks want to be about glam, the catwalk is that way. The court is over here. Make your choice. It's either about basketball or it is not, if you want me to take you seriously. I'm not a hater on the WNBA, but if you want me to take you seriously, the court there, the catwalk there. Choose. Kia Nurse led the Sparks with 23. Lashia Clarendon recorded her first career triple-double in a losing cause. And by the way, today, the Dodgers are back home. They'll play Cincinnati at 7. Tyler Glasnow is 6-1, 2.53 ERA. Nick Martinez is 0-2 with a 4.86 ERA. And here is the news. When there's a lot of Lakers rumors, I would have this giant whiteboard behind me to document it all so we can make sure we don't lose track. I am not lugging that damn thing onto a Southwest flight. But if I had it, I'd be adding names to the Lakers coaching hunt because we can add 2 more. Miami assistant Chris Quinn and Micah Nori of Minnesota. The list is not as overbearing as fake internet trade rumors that surround the Lakers, but it has reached 6. ESPN is reporting that the Lakers have received permission to talk to 5 assistant coaches around the league. Aside from the 2 that I previously mentioned, Sam Cassell, Dave Adelman, James Borrego. They do not have to ask anybody for permission to talk to former player and current hot take podcaster JJ Redick. Now, again, the Lakers are about to hand over the keys of a franchise with 2 big-name superstars and perhaps a third over the summer to a guy who very likely has no previous head coaching experience. I'm sorry, it doesn't sound like that's going to work because they keep doing it. They struck lightning with Pat Riley. That was 42 years ago. They got more championships by hiring an established big-name coach who was, in fact, a master at his craft, Phil Jackson. Why the Lakers continue to hand the keys of a Lamborghini over to somebody out of traffic school just befuddles me. I also want to give you a bit of a primer on the Lakers summer trade market because the third superstar thing has started to float out there again. You've likely been reading about Trae Young to the Lakers for a couple of years. So be it. Trae Young basically became the name that replaced Kyrie Irving as the alleged third star in the blogosphere. Oh, we got a hot trade rumor. Oh, we've got a trade proposal. And it's always all crap. It's all crap. So you're reading now a lot about Trae Young. With regards to Young, it goes like this. Atlanta was hoping to trade him to San Antonio because the Spurs have multiple lottery picks. The Spurs, though, they want to keep the picks. They want to rebuild on that in that route. The Lakers will have 3 trade-eligible first-round picks, but it is not certain. It is not certain that they want Young. Why? Because he doesn't play defense, and he's a little bit surly. He's kind of hard to get along with. There's a possibility also that Donovan Mitchell might become available. Same for former Laker Brandon Ingram. And Trae Young has the name, true. But in the grand scheme of things, Mitchell and Ingram are actually more valuable than Trae Young. Meanwhile, with the Kings, goalie Dave Rittich, big save Dave, it returns to the Kings on a 1-year, $1 million contract. Rittich is the latest in a long line, just almost like a line from the book of Exodus, a line of journeyman goalies who have come to the Kings and benefited from the Kings' defensive system that is designed to make them look good because the defensive system prevents the opponents from taking shots in the first place. It's pretty easy to stop shots that aren't taken, guys. Right? Rittich pretty much signed for the same deal that Cam Talbot signed last year, but Talbot is still a free agent. If you look at Rittich as a Kings fan, and I am a Kings fan, if you look at Rittich and you're honest with yourself, his career is literally telling the same story of Phoenix Copley the year before. The Kings, frankly, would have to be extremely creative to improve in goal. The free agent market for goalies is thinner than my hairline. They simply haven't had stability in goal since the salad days, if you will, of Jonathan Quick. And if you're a longtime Kings fan, you can probably count on one hand the number of times that the LA Kings have had a truly reliable goalie. So they're just biding time until they get the next one, I presume. There are multiple reports that the Kings have not yet talked to potential free agent for defenseman Matt Roy. The dude earned only about $3 million last year. Frankly, he may have become too expensive for the Kings to fit under their salary cap. And yes, I know they had the choice. They could have traded him and got some assets back before the trade deadline. I hear you. There's a reason why Rob Blake isn't that popular right now as GM. This is one of those stories that the press will try to make sound like a huge deal. To those of us who don't care what other people make, it isn't a deal at all. The LA Times is reporting that USC shelled out more than $28 million over the course of 2 years to complete bringing Lincoln Riley to Southern California. Now, it's not that Riley earned $14 million a year. That's not what we're getting at. I'm talking about the entire process. The lion's share, of course, did go to Riley. Almost $20 million to hire him as a head coach 2 years ago. This is according to a tax return filed by the school. Riley got a little more than half of that in base pay, which turns out to be a raise of $2 million from what he got over in Oklahoma. The rest of what went to Riley was called other related compensation. That included a $4.5 million payout to the University of Oklahoma. You also then add the Trojans cut a check for $4 million. So that Clay Helton could just vanish into the ether. All of this, to be frank, doesn't really move me. Because USC is a private school, they're wealthy as hell, and if you think that having USC connections can get you out of a fix, O.J. Simpson, it damn sure can get you pretty much whatever you damn well want for the football team. The fact that the Trojans athletic department rid us all of Clay Helton, University President Carol Folt has my eternal gratitude. Thank you for cutting that check. I don't find this to be controversial at all. LA Times. The only thing that bothers the hell out of me about this story is defensive coordinator Alex Grinch was only one of 2 assistant coaches across the entire country to make more than $2 million per year. Alex Grinch. Defensive coordinator Alex Grinch, for that, got $2 million a year. I will say at least you can understand why USC may have been, how do I put this, too patient with Helton and extremely impatient with Grinch. The last 2 years of Helton's tenure at USC, he made $4.8 million. In other words, Grinch almost equaled his pay as a coordinator, and a lousy coordinator at that. You put that money together and you can easily see why USC is like, Coach Riley, we're paying Grinch almost as much as we paid the guy you replaced. He sucked, we got rid of him. We are more than willing to cut our losses if you don't get rid of Grinch. It wouldn't surprise me if there was pressure put on Riley from above. Get rid of this guy. It's one thing to pay you $10 million a year. You're producing results on the offensive end, but this guy's got to go. And money talks. I realize the LA Times wants us all to clutch pearls over the largesse that was ponied out. It's kind of grotesque. It's kind of like watching an episode of The Kardashians and Kim forks out another 6 figures in a desperate attempt to look like she's still in her 20s. But I'm not going to clutch costume jewelry over this. I want USC to win. I don't give a damn how much they spend to do it. LA Times. Speaking of not caring, the NFL released schedules for every team yesterday. That includes, obviously, the Rams and Chargers, and I don't care. I don't give a damn. Neither should you. Oh, the Rams start the season in Detroit. Don't care. Oh, the Rams are going to face Caleb Williams. I don't care that they're going to face Caleb Williams. Jim Harbaugh starts his Chargers career against the Raiders. I don't care that he starts it against the Raiders. This is just the way that the NFL keeps acting like your ex-girlfriend on social media. Just liking everything, mentioning things about you, just trying to show you that they're there. Not falling for it. If you are one of those folks who watches a lot of the NFL draft combine coverage, I'm sorry. But you have heard of players whose stock grew during those combines. And in the NBA, the same possibly could be said for former UCLA center Adem Bona. They played a couple of scrimmages with him in it. In one of those 2 scrimmages, he scored in double digits. His defense stood out in both, according to the scribes who were there. Now, what this means on draft night? No idea. I believe he gets drafted. Maybe now, instead of the middle of the second round, maybe it's the upper part of the second round. I'm not telling you he played his way into the lottery. That's a little much. But he definitely improved his stock. Running back Carson Cox is a 4-star recruit out of Hesperia, and he is committed to play for UCLA football. I would argue he could be the future of the UCLA offense when you consider that both head coach Deshaun Foster and offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy were both running backs when they played. They know what they want in a running back. And he ran for more than 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns last year for Oak Hills High out in the high desert. It has been a few days since the Dodgers have made some relatively pointless roster moves, so here goes. Up to the Dodgers come right-handed pitchers Eliezer Hernandez and Eduardo Salazar. Hernandez, by the way, was called up just in time to start in place of Ryan Yarbrough and take the loss last night in San Francisco. So there's that. Down goes Gus Varland and Nabil Crismat. Crismat was designated for assignment, which is kind of funny because he had already cleared waivers earlier this year when he was put on assignment before. According to the Daily News, the Dodgers no longer view reliever Michael Grove as a viable option at long relief. Quote, he's not in that capacity, unquote, Dave Roberts said. I have no idea why Dave Roberts likes to speak like he's a middle manager at a Chili's, but that's his gig and he gets paid for it, so be it. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Are you even remotely impressed with the Lakers coaching search? Are you cool with the Kings bringing back Big Save Dave? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelinos. We are talking LA sports here every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelinos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.